Yeah, y'all know what time it is. Y'all know exactly what time it is, man. We got to get into this tape and break this film down. Now, Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White made a vital mistake that if she continues to make, this will cost the Indiana Fever games. 100%. They will lose games if she keeps making this mistake.
That was a basketball mind sounding the alarm. And what he just laid out is the story nobody on ESPN wants to touch tonight. Stephanie White, the head coach of the Indiana Fever, is making the same mistake every single game, quarter after quarter, possession after possession, and it is going to cost Caitlin Clark and this franchise wins they cannot afford to lose. Make no mistake, when a head coach refuses to fix the same broken defense for 4 full quarters, that is not strategy, that is malpractice. Stephanie White, the woman the Fever front office handed the keys to a championship-caliber roster, is leaving Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell hanging out to dry. And we have the tape to prove it. Hit the like, hit subscribe, ring that bell, stay with me. Because what comes out of this tape is going to make every Fever fan in America furious.
So, during the live stream, I went over this, right? And it was very annoying, and I did not like the fact that during the game, Stephanie White elected to continue to switch these bigs onto guards and leave these bigs on an island on the perimeter versus these guards that they could not stay in front of, and then leaving the guards stuck on bigs for throw-ins into the post or for offensive rebound opportunities. Now, the guard is going to switch onto the big and try to rotate out to the wing, but a lot of times you're unable to do that, and it left us stuck in bad positions a lot throughout this game. She did it from the first quarter all the way through the fourth. A lack of adjustments.
Listen to that. Listen carefully. The head coach of the Indiana Fever is letting her bigs get stranded on the perimeter against quicker guards. She is letting her guards get stuck in the paint against bigger players, and she did it from the first quarter all the way through the fourth. 0 adjustments, 0. Let me tell you something. At the professional level, at the college level, even at the high school level, when a coach sees a matchup hurting her team in the first quarter, you fix it by the second, not by halftime, not in the fourth, the first time it happens. Stephanie White watched it happen for 40 minutes of basketball and never lifted a finger. That is the kind of coaching that gets you fired in this league, and the fans in Indianapolis are watching every second of it.
Okay, so if you look right here, you got Gabby Williams up top with the ball. Kelsey Mitchell is her initial defender. Monique Billings is guarding the screener, and then you're going to see Monique Billings get stuck on Gabby Williams, okay? Let's get into it. Okay, now we got Gabby Williams out here on the perimeter on Monique Billings. You got Kelsey Mitchell stuck on a big who's about to walk her down to the post.
Smothering on defense when they get there. Stokes has the size.
That is too easy. That is high school level. That's too easy of coverage. You can't just be switching these little guards onto these bigs and thinking the big isn't just gonna dive straight to the block or straight to the front of the rim. You can't. Come on, Stephanie White.
There it is, right there on the screen. Kelsey Mitchell, 5'8", stuck guarding a center on the block, while the actual center, Monique Billings, is left chasing Gabby Williams around the three-point line. The analyst called it high school level coverage. He is being polite. This is the Indiana Fever. This is the most watched team in the entire WNBA. This is the franchise that drafted Caitlin Clark with the #1 overall pick. And Stephanie White is running a defense that would get a high school coach in the state of Indiana sent straight to the bench.
Okay, now we got Caitlin Chin, who came off the bench and had a good game. She's being guarded by Kelsey Mitchell once again. Aaliyah Boston is now guarding the screener, and watch how it plays out. Boom, we got the screen set. That wasn't, for one, that wasn't even a hard screen. Kelsey should be getting through that ball screen. Contact was barely even made. You just went under and switched. You did not work to get through the screen, nothing. So now we have Aaliyah Boston stuck out here on Caitlin Chin, and Kelsey Mitchell is stuck on a big one.
Did you catch what just happened? A Golden State guard sets up. Kelsey Mitchell is on her. Aaliyah Boston, your franchise post player, is on the screener. The screen is barely a brush. And what does the Indiana Fever defense do? They switch. Now Aaliyah Boston, a 6'5" interior player, is on an island guarding a quick guard at the top of the key. Of course she gets blown by. Of course she has to reach. Of course she picks up a cheap foul she should never have been in position to commit in the first place. That foul does not happen if Stephanie White does her job. That foul does not happen if the head coach calls one timeout and says, Stop switching everything. But she didn't. She watched it. She let it happen. And then she let it happen again.
Okay, now pay attention to this play. Pay attention to this play, guys. Now in this play right here, we don't see it from the beginning, but right here, okay, look at this. You got Gabby Williams has the ball at the top of the key. Who's guarding her? Aaliyah Boston. Now a screen came before this. So now you got, I believe this is Leticia Amenwede right here in the middle in the paint. And she has a smaller Sophie Cunningham on her backside. Now, just because the ball didn't get thrown into her and just because the guard missed a shot over a big that she had a mismatch on doesn't mean the plays.
Here's where the case against Stephanie White becomes airtight. Every single possession this happens, you are creating 3 problems at once. Problem number 1, the ball handler has a size and speed mismatch. Problem number 2, your guard is now stranded in the post against a bigger player. Problem number 3, when the shot goes up, your guard cannot box out the bigger player on the offensive glass. 1 bad decision from the bench, 3 failures on the floor, every single trip. I'll say it again, 3 failures on every switch. The fans see it, the opposing coaches see it. The only person in that building who apparently does not see it is the woman wearing the headset for the Indiana Fever. And what comes next is the moment that broke this whole thing wide open.
It's over.
Boston just led Clark too far. Williams.
Size mismatch. Because you are switching perimeter players onto their big, it is a mismatch for the ball handler on the big. It's a mismatch for the big that's trying to take the smaller player into the post, and it is a mismatch and a problem on the offensive glass. Stephanie White continued to switch smalls onto bigs all game.
Too strong on a 3. That's a me here pulling down the rebound. And
you get a small stuck on a big, offensive rebound.
Look at that. A small guard stuck on a bigger player. The shot goes up. The bigger player gets the offensive rebound. Easy putback. 2 points the Fever just handed away. Stephanie White handed those 2 points to the Golden State Valkyries herself. Multiply that by every possession this happened. Multiply it across 40 minutes. That is not a basketball game. That is a giveaway. And Caitlin Clark is the one out there trying to dig her team out of the hole her own coach put them in.
Put back lay-in. Now, all right. Now you got Lefty. She was balling, man. Tiffany Hayes. You got a switch out onto her. Okay, so you got Monique Billings switched out on switched on Tiffany Hayes. This is a mismatch. This is a mismatch, all because you keep switching everything all game.
Hayes is winding that
left to right cross. Look how much separation she got on that.
Tiffany Hayes, veteran guard, lefty, crafty, quick. Stephanie White's defense gives her Monique Billings, a center, alone in space on the perimeter. Watch the separation, watch the crossover, watch the head coach of the Indiana Fever do absolutely nothing about it. Make no mistake. This is a public failure. A head coach has one job above every other job: adjust. When the other team finds something that works, you take it away. You take it away in real time. Stephanie White did not take it away in the first quarter, not in the second, not in the third, not in the fourth. That is not bad luck. That is not a bad night. That is a coach who is in over her head. And the Indiana Fever front office better be paying attention, because Caitlin Clark, the most important player in the entire WNBA, is the one paying the price.
Stop switching these slow bigs onto perimeter guards. If you want to switch guard to guard screens, if you want to switch like size screens, meaning, Caitlin Clark and a Lexi Hall switch, or like size, you got to stop switching your small guards and bigs on these ball screens. The guards got to fight through screens.
Down on her former teammate hits.
You just heard the fix. Stop switching. Get up on the ball. Fight through the screen. That is the most basic instruction in basketball. The first thing you teach a 12-year-old at a summer camp in Iowa. And the head coach of the Indiana Fever cannot get her team to do it for 40 straight minutes. Here is the thing. The fans in Indianapolis are not stupid. The fans watching this channel right now are not stupid. These are people who have been watching basketball for 40-50 years. They know what they are looking at. And what they are looking at is a coach who is failing the most important rookie season in WNBA history. Because the real story is not just what happened tonight. It is what this means for everything coming next.
Planning. Stephanie White, you need to make better adjustments and stop switching guards onto bigs all game.
That is tough to guard, especially with size.
Williams off balance, defended.
I'm telling you right now, if Stephanie White continues to do this, the Indiana Fever versus better teams are going to lose games. You cannot do this versus the better teams.
There it is, the warning. From a basketball mind who has watched every minute of this Fever season. If Stephanie White keeps running this defense against the better teams in this league, the Indiana Fever are going to lose. Not by a possession, not by a missed shot at the buzzer, by 8, by 10, by 15 points. Now let me pull back, because this is bigger than one game. This is bigger than one bad night of coaching. This is about a pattern, and the Indiana Fever front office is going to have to confront it. This is not the first time we have watched a championship-caliber roster get wasted by a head coach who refused to adjust. Go back through the history of women's basketball. Go back through the early 2000s. Go back to teams with Hall of Fame talent that finished out of the playoffs because the head coach could not get out of her own way. The pattern is always the same. Star player drafted, roster built, coach refuses to evolve, season slips away. By the time ownership figures it out, the window is closed. Caitlin Clark is in her early 20s. Her window is wide open right now. But windows do not stay open forever. And every game Stephanie White wastes is a game Caitlin Clark cannot get back.
You cannot try to do this versus the aces. You think you're going to be switching Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark or Lexi Hall onto Asia Wilson when she sets a ball screen for Kennedy Carter? And you're going to have Aaliyah Boston out on the top of the key guarding Kennedy Carter? Or you're going to have a small guard dealing with Asia Wilson? No, you can't do that versus New York Liberty. You can't keep switching all these small to big guard screens. The guards got to get up on the ball, get skinny, you know what I'm saying? Meaning don't turn and get wide, press up on the ball and get skinny to get through the screens. We got to get through screens and fight over.
You heard the warning. The aces, the Liberty, the contenders in this league. Stephanie White is going to walk into those buildings running the same broken defense and get embarrassed on national television. Let me give you 4 angles on this, because this is bigger than X's and O's. First, the front office angle. Ticket sales in Indianapolis are tied directly to wins. Lose with Caitlin Clark on the floor, and the Fever have a crisis on their hands. Second, the locker room angle. Every player on that roster is watching how the head coach handles Clark, Boston, and Mitchell. If they see chaos, they tune out. Third, the fan angle. The Fever sold out arenas across the country last season. Those fans paid to see winning basketball. They are not going to keep showing up to watch high school level coverage. Fourth, the league angle. The WNBA needs the Indiana Fever to be good. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert needs this franchise contending. When the most watched team in the league looks unprepared, ratings drop everywhere. Same problem, 4 layers of damage, and it all traces back to one office in Indianapolis. Many of you in the comments saw this coming. For weeks now, you have been telling me Stephanie White does not have the answers. You called it before the analytics community called it. You called it before the national media called it. You called it before the front office called it. And tonight, every single one of you got proven right one more time. What this means going forward. 5 things, fast. Number 1, the Fever's schedule gets harder, not easier. Number 2, Caitlin Clark is going to start taking matters into her own hands, which means more usage, more wear, more risk of injury. Number 3, Aaliyah Boston is going to keep picking up cheap fouls because she is being put in bad positions by her own coach. Number 4, opposing coaches are watching this tape right now, and they will hammer Indiana with it. Number 5, the front office in Indianapolis is going to be forced to make a decision before the All-Star break. And here is the one thing nobody is talking about. The biggest consequence of all is still coming.
Higher game. I get it. You're doing a switch, and then you're trying to push the guard that switched onto a big. You're trying to shoot him out to the corner and let the low man rotate. Like, I get what you're doing. This shit ain't gonna work versus the better teams. I'm telling you that right now, man. Let me know what you guys think about what's Stephanie White's defense versus the Golden State Valkyries. I don't think the team was awful. I think it was way too much fouling, and part of the fouling is we're getting small stuck onto big, so they're just fouling the shit out of them. That's what a lot of it's coming from, too. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. This Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
There is the bottom line. The fouls, the mismatches, the lack of adjustments. All of it traces back to one head coach who refused to make the fix every fan watching could see needed to be made. When a head coach allows the same broken defense to play out for 4 full quarters, the players hear it. The opposing bench hears it. The front office hears it. And Caitlin Clark hears it loudest of all. Because she is the one whose rookie window is being put at risk by a coach who will not adjust. So I am putting this directly to you. Do the Indiana Fever stick with Stephanie White through the All-Star break? Or does Kathy Engelbert and that front office need to make a change before this season slips away? Drop a 1 if you say stick with her. Drop a 2 if you say it is time for a change. I want to hear it. Hit the like. Hit subscribe. Ring that bell. Share this with every Caitlin Clark fan you know. Because the more eyes on this tape, the harder it gets for the Fever to keep ignoring what every fan in America just saw. That is the take. We will see you on the next one.